super excited. Hope that everyone here so far has joined in. Charlie Stewart, how are you? Where are you calling from? Where are you coming in from? Charlie Stewart. Claudia Satori.
Claudia, hi Claudia.
You guys feel free to unmute yourself. Why? Don't be shy. We don't bite. I bite food.
I do when I'm hungry.
Yeah, I bite food.
I do. If I'm hungry, I'm biting.
Well, speaking of food, what is your go-to like fixer upper for like when you're super hungry? Let's start off with that while we wait for
Oh
everyone to trickle
man. Honestly, I keep it simple. So when I'm super hungry, keep it simple. There's always eggs in the fridge. Keep it simple, grab some eggs. I can always do some eggs, some fried eggs with butter.
in.
Um,
Oh,
put some salsa on there, chop up some
oh,
mushrooms or veggies if I have them, but that's a go-to, easy. I don't have to leave the house.
okay. I've never heard about eggs and salsa. You got a
Never.
recipe to that salsa.
So you just,
I
yeah, just chop up
was
some
like the
onions, some
butter part.
tomatoes, some bell peppers, chop up some mushrooms, right? And then just grill it with some butter or olive oil, season it, add it on top like a topping.
Yeah.
I like them over medium, so I like my eggs crispy on the outside and the yolk a little soft. So
Ooh,
all
yum.
things
I'm a runny
considered.
girl.
You know, that's a Filipino like form of how to make like eggs. I love the crispiness on the outside, but like it's milky.
Yeah.
Mm, yum.
I
No, I've
love
been really
eggs too.
quesadillas lately.
Quesadillas.
Quesadillas. Very
Ooh.
simple. Just, some tortilla and cheese. Mm.
Hi, Miss Nicole
Hi,
Mayer.
Nicole.
Hello. I'll
Welcome.
probably turn my screen off at some point because,
No worries, just drive safe.
of
Hey, Nicole, good to
course.
see you.
Hi, likewise.
Think of us as a podcast right now, and I hope our voices are okay. I'm losing my voice because I've been coughing lately, so hopefully I don't get a coughing attack. Now, Charlie is a guy's name or a girl's name? Because I have a niece and her name is Charlie, so I think that's pretty cool. Just wondering. Not being biased or anything, men are included in this as well. Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, so I know some people are going to be late, but as leaders, we like to show up ahead of time or right on time, especially with
Mhm.
Zooms, right? So to get into the habit of just doing things without permission, in a sense, and
Mhm.
sticking to our goal. Today is an amazing day. And I know Tiffany and I are very fortunate to not only be doing business with Nancy, but to also know her as an individual, who she is outside of what she does on a day-to-day basis from helping community. And so, welcome back, everyone, to Women of Insurance. Those of you who are new here, welcome. Um, we are holding a space where we amplify women's voices to elevate their leadership and have honest conversations about building businesses that actually support the life you want. So, my name is Ezra.
And my name is Tiffany. Whether you are joining us live or watching the replay, we're so, so, so grateful that you're here with us tonight.
Yes. And this community continues to grow because women and men are craving deeper conversations, not just about success, but about mindset, alignment, and who we're becoming as leaders along the way. Our guest tonight is Nancy Rocks. That is her real name, okay? Lucky her. It's two words. Most people have a long name like me, 4 words, like that's too much to write. Nancy rocks, and honestly, she does really rock. She owns her name. She is a certified NLP practitioner. I think that's neuro-linguistic practitioner. Yes.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Programming practitioner, yes. A hypnotherapist and a powerhouse life and business coach. Nancy has master level training in Reiki, EFT, timeline therapy. Ho'opo, I don't want to destroy it. Nancy,
You
can you
got
help
this,
me
girl.
here?
You got this.
Oponopono and reconnective healing.
There
Oh, I
you
feel
go.
like I was rapping there. With over 13 years of experience in financial services, she understands both the internal and external challenges people face when creating real change. Nancy has helped thousands of individuals and couples break limiting patterns, shift mindsets, and step into empowered, aligned lives. Please help us welcome Miss Nancy Rocks. Boop, boop,
Woo!
boop.
Yay. I love that. Thank you
Nancy.
for that amazing introduction.
Nancy, welcome to Women of Insurance. We're so, so grateful to have you here with us today. Um,
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Sweet. So we're going to start it off. Nancy, let's start at the very beginning. For the women and the men listening who might be thinking, is this for me? Can you walk us through the work you do and how it specifically supports women in business, women and men in business and leadership?
So, first of all, we're all people, right? I'm just a regular person, and we're all just people trying to be better. And the way that I support people is I help them highlight their strengths, identify their weaknesses, right, and close those gaps. So whether you're in a place where you feel you might be struggling and you can improve, I help you identify those blocks. I give you a strategy, an action plan, right? And we get through it together. But I also pour belief into people. It's really hard for us to see our own, blocks or our own potential. We have a lot of limiting beliefs. We have a lot of old patterns. So patterns are predictive, right? We can predict patterns. Behavior, you can predict behavior. Emotions, we all have emotions. So I really teach people about themselves. If you can learn about yourself on a deeper level, then you can make the changes that you need to make in your life, right? And you just want to make this world a better place. If I leave behind this little ripple effect, I call it, I teach you something that then you can benefit from, and then you go off and teach it to somebody else. And I feel like I served a purpose in this world.
I
Nice.
love that. I love that. So Nancy, kind of you essentially you help, women and men identify their patterns that keep them stuck and then you give them the tools to rewire their mindsets, their emotions, their behaviors, and so that they could move forward with, clarity and confidence, right?
Absolutely. And there's different areas of life that are important to people. So
Mhm.
some people, it's their relationship and they're struggling in their relationship. And I work with couples and I work with individuals, and sometimes it's their business. And sometimes when we're working on their business, we figure out that the relationship is suffering and that's connected to the business, right?
Mhm.
So I do like to
Mhm.
take a holistic approach and look at all of these different areas of life and see how they affect each other. So we want to improve the quality of the area of life that makes the biggest difference, right? So if that area is worked out first, so I imagine a pyramid, the primary area of life is at the top. If we work on that one first, these fall into place, right? Now we can work on the ones that are lower, and a lower level of importance, I would call it. And you still benefit by moving up in that pyramid. But again, we want to identify the root emotion or the root pattern or the root limiting belief so that the other ones start to get better as well, right?
Nice, nice. We do have a comment here by Maria Monzo. She's asking, "Hi, are you a therapist?"
So I'm not a psychotherapist. if that is your question. But I have studied a lot of what a therapist does study. So I don't, I'm not a psychotherapist. I do have all of these other certifications. And I do a lot of what you would go and see a traditional therapist do. So some people do call me their therapist. Some people call me their life coach. Some people just call me their friend, right? I'm going to have a session with my friend, right? So I think people just kind of use whatever title, but I'm not a psychotherapist.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you. Yeah.
I really resonate with that business and relationship. I yesterday we had a great training from Jeff and Jared. And they spoke about integrity and how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? You've worked across both personal development and financial services. What did you notice about mindset and emotional patterns that made you realize inner work is non-negotiable for sustainable success?
Well, I think just when we identify things that are not working out for us, it's just very simple, right? We identify something is not working. I like to simplify things. And if something's not working, then how do we get to the result that we want to get? So, like you said, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So, if something's not working and you keep doing that same thing over and over and over again, it's not going to improve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Taking the time to pause, to reflect, to identify where, that bump in the road is, to overcome it, and then to give yourself grace in the process, right? Because sometimes we're really hard on ourselves. So to give yourself grace and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I didn't do so well in that, but I'm willing to try, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to improve.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, that landed for me. Um, Nancy, really thank you for sharing that part because that really landed for me. Um, for women in entrepreneurship, women and men in entrepreneurship, especially in the trust-based industries like insurance or finance, sometimes confidence can waver. What mindset shifts help women and men trust themselves enough to lead when they don't even feel ready?
Um, I think a lot of times people don't even get to that point of trusting themselves. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I say that's okay. Just wing it, just make a decision, right? And I think that that's really empowering to say, as long as you make a decision, and if you don't like that decision, go ahead and make another one, right? Or like in the insurance world, if you make a recommendation and your client has a different, plan, then make a different recommendation, right? Adjust. So I think that part is important, right? Again, to make that recommendation, to be able to shift. Oh, who is that? Mark?
Mark.
Mark, would you please mute yourself? Sorry. Thank you for joining.
Mark is cracking up over there. I'm like, hey, what's so funny, Mark? So again, just being empowered to make a decision, right? And if that decision doesn't work out, just go ahead and make another decision. So I think we pretty much are winging it in life, and we just course correct along the way, and it's okay to do so. And again, going back to giving yourself grace. I'm not perfect, right? So in my life, I have challenges that I need to overcome constantly. I have my own blocks, I have my own patterns, but I'm more consciously aware of them, right? So back here, I don't know why I do the things that I do. So as we become more aware of them, we know how to change them and move along the way. So there is no one way, at least not for me. Not that's, part of my belief system. There is no one way. There's so many different ways.
I see that as a very powerful characteristic of if you have a goal and you're set to it, you're just going to continue to pick yourself up. Like you're going to keep trying. You're a person who's going to keep trying. That's what I'm reading from that. And so many people are doing all the right things externally, posting, selling, building, but still feel stuck internally. What are some of the most common blocks you see people carrying that they don't even realize are running the show?
Let's see. I think the things that we're really private about, the things that we don't tell anybody, the things that we don't own. We kind of hide our deepest, darkest secrets. And I've been fortunate enough to have people allow me into their lives and they share their deepest, darkest secrets and their deepest, darkest fears, but also their biggest dreams and goals, right? They don't say these out loud. And again, I've been fortunate enough to be part of that conversation and to be let in. So one thing is I call it owning your shit. So have you guys watched 8 Mile, right? Back in like 2002.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So anybody watched 8 Mile? Who else has seen that movie? So 8 Mile, if you remember the scene toward the end, right? It's the famous rap battle at the end when they're at the shelter. And it's Eminem and he's going up on this final rap battle and he goes and he does a great job and he's going to move to the next round, right? And his friend Cheddar Bob, right? You guys remember Cheddar Bob? Right? Cheddar Bob, he's kind of like giving him crap about it. He's like, "Hey, like what are you going to do? Like, like okay, you're moving on to the next round, but what are you going to do? This guy, he's like, "Well, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, yeah, he's going to talk about how they beat you up and this guy slept with your girl and and then he's like, man, get out of here, right? Like he's being negative, but he's really like telling him, hey, they got all this stuff on you, right? And what happened on that final rap battle, and again, it's a movie, right? But it was great. This final rap battle, what he does is he starts owning his shit, right? He's like, I do live in a trailer park with my mom, right? My this guy did sleep with my girl, right? My boy did shoot himself with his own gun, right? And I'm still standing here saying, F the free world, right? Which is the other crew, right? And I think like that was very powerful because he just owned his shit, right? That's what I call it. So sometimes we just got to own our shit and we just got to own our flaws and we just got to keep going and get to the next level, right? You mess up, own your shit, get to the next level.
Hmm.
Oh,
You
I
guys are
love
going to go
that.
watch that movie.
I know. I'm gonna go
I'm going to
watch
rewatch
that
it.
movie now. And I'm like, okay, every time I watch this, I'm like, Nancy, yep, we're gonna own our shit.
accountability. That's big.
Yes, thank you. Yep. And Nancy, for when blocks come up, kind of piggybacking on what we were talking about, fears, doubts, a lot of people pleasing. What is the first step we can take to interrupt those patterns instead of letting them spiral?
So I actually have a technique and I'll give you part of the technique. It's a little bit more involved and it is an NLP technique. So there's something called a pattern interrupt. And a pattern interrupt is using something specific when you notice a pattern, right? And you interrupt the pattern with this thing, and then you replace it, you reframe the experience. So you do a pattern interrupt and then you do a reframe after that. So it is a technique. And again, I like to keep things simple. So I call it the bullshit technique. So bullshit technique. And the reason why it's very intentional, when I use certain language, I drop F-bombs, I use certain language and I use it strategically because it's a pattern interrupt. You're not used to somebody going in and just using, the F-bomb or saying bullshit, right? So now you're like, oh, did she just say that? It's like, yeah, she did. And it's intentional. They don't know that, but it interrupted the pattern and it allows me to bypass the block, right? And I get to reframe their experience. So people can do this on their own. Whenever you have that block, you're like, I'm not having a good day today. It's like bullshit. And then, you know what? There was no traffic today, right? You just say that bullshit, you interrupt the pattern, and then you find something to replace that, right?
Yes, definitely. We have a comment here from Fabiola. As someone following a similar path that combines energy work, health, and financial services, I find that maintaining a consistent social media presence can feel draining and at times inauthentic, like it doesn't fully reflect who I am. From your experience, how have you navigated the tension between showing up publicly for your business and preserving your energy and authenticity? Are there strategies you use to engage effectively with your audience while maintaining alignment with your personal and energetic integrity? Ooh, she's
I
like
like
deep.
Good
that.
one.
I'm so
Yes,
sorry,
I
but
like
speaking of insurance, we're not surface level here. Like, you're gonna get
You're getting
everyone
deep.
uncomfortable out of their comfort zone for real. That was deep. So,
So, Fabiola, it's interesting because that is actually one of my blocks, which is the social media presence, right?
Mm,
So for me, I have my coaching practice and I've been doing energy work and I was exposed to that a long time ago and it helped me in so many different areas and then I wanted to help others, right? And it was just something that I naturally fell into and I have a really deep connection with people and I'm an empath and I really love to help people. And then with financial services, I've always been really good with money and I started to learn these strategies and I wanted to help people improve their finances. And then I said, well, I want to integrate the two. So what I do is I teach people who come in to learn about mindset or are working on different areas of their life. And eventually we work on money blocks and we work on financial strategies. And then I also have agents, right, that need to get their life together in the other areas, right? Because we just go in and we talk business and like strategies and how do I solve this problem and what do I recommend to this client? But it's like, well, what's going on in your life, right? So
Mhm.
my journey right now is about integration and a lot of the people on here today they're my financial partners in business and they're also clients in like my coaching practice, right? But for me, one of my blogs is integrating that and then putting it out in social media. How do I separate that? How do I show up? What do I show? And Fabiola, if you go to my Instagram, I know we're sharing that link. There you don't see anything really about business. I'm like, what do I do? What do I post? Okay, here's a picture of me. Here's a little trip I took. Here's me, getting my ass beat doing Muay Thai, right, with one of my training partners. Like just little things that, I haven't figured it out yet. And I am allowing myself the grace again. There's that word of saying, like, hey, I'm just kind of gonna go along with it however I can and go with the flow and adjust along the way. So I don't put too much pressure on it. I feel like it is very overwhelming for myself, personally, just like it has been for you. And it's a work in progress, and I'm okay with that. So any feedback, you guys send it my way. I'm open.
sweet. I added on the group chat her Instagram. I will be sharing her contact information too at the very end of this. Elena. Oh, she goes, here for you, Nancy. You know where to go.
Elena helps me
So
with social media. I'm like, girl, how do I post on my Instagram? Like, I couldn't even put a post because I haven't been on Instagram for such a long time. I don't know how to work it. I'm like, girl, how do I post on my Instagram? Thank you, Elena.
yeah, Elena's actually really great at all her social media posts. She has an acting background, but she really told me when me and her connected that you just got to be out there. Enjoy yourself, flaws and all, right?
Yeah.
You're doing
If I could just say one thing, beautiful ladies, and I'll make it quick. I'm gonna do an AI course, which I'm gonna invite all you guys to. So that's my specialty. So
Oh,
I work with that. So here to help all of you, especially my biz to biz fam. Okay, guys. So yeah.
Hey, thank you so
hey,
much, Selena.
yeah.
You're
Drop
gonna
your
be one of our
contact in
next.
your in the chat if for those
Yeah,
who aren't connected with Elena, drop her info.
yeah. You've guided thousands of people through deep emotional and behavioral shifts from what you're saying. What do you see humans underestimate most
Ew, why am I in the
about?
Holy crap.
Sorry, I'm
Sorry.
no worries about that. Um, what do you see humans underestimating most about their emotional intelligence and how powerful it actually is in leadership? But first, when does a person decide to take accountability?
Um, Honestly, when they're suffering,
Ooh,
it is when they are suffering.
mm.
Because there comes a point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're suffering in an area of your life. Usually, it's in a primary area of your life that you're trying to improve. And then they start to reflect, and then they start to like say, like, hey, what do I do? And
Hmm.
that's when accountability comes in, right? Where did I drop the ball? If I'm the common denominator, What do I need to do to improve, right? So when people actually are suffering, that is when they make the biggest change. That is when they have the biggest breakthrough because they are suffering and they don't want to suffer anymore. And I think it's amazing. It's powerful. But they have to go through that sometimes. Some people don't get to a deep suffering, but they still suffer in some area of their life. And that's where accountability comes in.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. For people who are listening right now who feel like, they are suffering or going through those same cycles, maybe same struggles, same burnout, maybe same sabotage. What's one truth you wish that they truly understood about change?
You cut out for a second there, Tiffany.
Okay. I said, for those who are listening right now, feel like maybe they are suffering, going through those same cycles, same struggles, same burnout, same self-sabotage in whatever area in their life. What's one truth that you wish that they could understand about change?
Um, the suffering is temporary. Keep going, right? Sometimes it feels like you're there for a long time, but it is temporary. So when you think about an emotion, I'll use this as an example. Um, if you feel happy, how many of you have felt happy before? Right? When you feel happy for a moment in time. You're not walking around like this, like all day, every day, 24/7. And you may have had a great day, but you have moments of happiness, right? And when those moments of happiness are chunked together, then that's when you feel like, hey, I'm so happy because you have more of those moments chunked together. Now, people who are suffering, they have the opposite emotion, right? It might be stress, it might be anger, it might be sadness. So when those are chunked together, right, then they're experiencing more of that. But in between that, if somebody tells you a great joke and they make you laugh, for that second, even though it was a smaller chunk of time, you're happy, right? You experience joy.
Right.
It was great. So same thing with the suffering. It's temporary. Sometimes it feels like it's there for a long time just because you have a different emotion chunked together for longer periods of time. So when you look at it that way, I call it flooding. We just have to flood the other emotions, right? So when you experience the flooding in positive emotions, then the negative emotions become less and less noticeable. So that's when you make the transition and you're like, oh my God, I thought I was never going to get myself out of that home.
Mhm.
That would be my message. It's temporary. Keep going.
Nice. You
Agree.
gotta keep moving on. Um, and how do we individuals create success that feels aligned? Not just productive, but peaceful and sustainable.
I think that's an individual thing for everyone because we all have different things that make us thrive, that make us feel good. And I think it's very individual. So I think identifying that for yourself. Sometimes we don't know what we like. So, because you're not doing the things that you enjoy, and life becomes very boring, life becomes very routine, we need variety, and therefore it's different for everybody. But honestly, we get lazy with routine. And when
Oh,
we get lazy with routine, we don't go back and think like, hey, what are things that make me thrive? What are things that I really enjoy? Like I really enjoy going to the beach. I love going to the beach. I'm a Pisces, so I love the water.
fine.
I'm a water sign, so I really love it. But I don't know when the last time was that I went to the beach. I didn't have enough beach days last summer. And I don't remember. I don't do it as often.
Yeah.
So sometimes we get lazy to do those things because we get caught up in the routine, right? So it's a very individual process of identifying what makes you thrive, what makes you feel good. What do you do for self-care? For women, I know there's a lot of women here and I love my ladies, but like we have a whole routine of getting ready. like
Oh,
doing our makeup. We have the music on. We have like there's all of this stuff that we do as we're getting ready, right? And it's part of
So
our
true.
routine. It's part of like what makes us feel good. It's how we start the day. If we're rushing and we're like, oh my God, I forgot my mascara, and you're doing it in the car, and then you break and then you smear it, it's like, oh man, that ruined it, right?
the
I know
whole
you've all
design
experienced
now.
it. Yeah.
Oh man.
So true, so true.
That's
Um,
good.
uh, Nancy, so kind of just pivoting here to a little bit of industry knowledge. Um, with your experience in financial services, how can agents better communicate the long-term value of our products without leading from fear or pressure?
Hmm. Good question.
So I think when you take the time to learn and be good at what you know, and if you know somebody who knows more than you, go ahead and reach out to them. You don't have to know everything. I don't know everything, and I've been in the industry for a long time. I teach other agents, I coach them, and there are things that I have to say, like, hey, let me get back to you on that. Maybe because I haven't come across that. So I think that that part, again, allowing yourself to learn, right? Because we need to constantly learn so we know our stuff. That builds confidence. If you do something repetition, right, over and over and over and over again, that's going to build confidence. If you do one thing just a handful of times, you haven't developed the emotional muscle to believe that you can do it. You're only
Mhm.
going to develop the emotional muscle by going through it over and over and over, just like going to the gym and lifting weights. Ezra, I've seen you at the gym in your videos. I know you like to work out. And you have to lift the weight over and over and over to get stronger and build that muscle physically, right? But the
Mhm.
emotional muscle is the same. So in this industry, through repetition, that's the only way that you're going to gain the confidence by doing it over and over. And then nobody knows somebody who knows what you don't know, so that you have a way to be resourceful, right? And if you have that, that helps your confidence because you have a team behind you.
I love that. And I'm
Mhm.
sure you have a team behind you, and I can say we have a team behind us, so use it. Very fortunate because not a lot of people in our industry actually have a team, you know. And many new agents, they struggle with confidence and rejection and imposter syndrome, right? What is one mindset shift you believe every new agent needs early on?
Um, I would say get rid of the butts. I like big butts, but I, you know, but I don't like to use them, right? Get rid of the butts. Like there's always a but. Um, so if I guess to use an example, I think overcoming the but I haven't done this, but I don't know that, but I have to do this instead, but I need to, like, there's always a but, and that but is only getting in the way of you moving forward. So I think for new agents, like, get rid of the buts. Don't create a but, don't create an excuse, like, just move forward, keep moving forward, find a solution. Don't get stuck on the buts, right? So again, if you're a new agent and you feel like, oh, but you don't do this. Oh, but like there's so many buts. Again, I like big butts, but like don't use them. And it's a way, and the reason why, same thing, I use these like little phrases because they're anchoring something that allows me to go back and reflect and say, like, hey, I'm using a but. When I find myself using a but, like, I practice what I preach, right? Like, oh my God, I like big butts, but like I need to stop using them because I'll find myself doing the same thing, right? I fall into my own buts and excuses. So again, for new agents, like, oh, but I don't want to, oh, but I hear that a lot. So get rid of the buts, get rid of the excuses, just take a step forward, get resourceful, find some help, and just keep going.
Got you. And so like with that, with the big but factor, um, do you feel as if when people use the but as an excuse, like but this, but that, do you feel as if that is really just an emotional aspect, or it's someone who doesn't want to be in a who doesn't want to be in an uncomfortable zone to grow, to take accountability? So I'm thinking from what I'm hearing is like you get rid of the that excuse, then you're gonna grow further. But if
But
you continue to have an excuse for saying, actually, my actions are not gonna align to where my goal is or my purpose or my intention, right? That like I guess I'm saying is that more, do you tend to find people who use an excuse more emotionally bound, or is it just I'm comfortable. I don't think I need to change anything. I'm comfortable the way I'm at. I have nothing to really learn, right?
Yeah, I think it could be both.
Hmm.
Yeah, for me, because I look at things, differently, I see it as a surface level thing. Like the butt is a surface level um, objection, right, to a deeper thing. So sometimes there's a but because, hey, I'm afraid of failing, right? So there's a but because I'm afraid of succeeding, right? What if I have a lot of success and then how do I show up? Like people say, oh my God, you're too good now. Oh, now you hang out with those people, right? So I look beyond that. I just kind of see it a little bit deeper, but it could be a lot of that. So it could be both, like I said, on the surface, but those are going to be really surface things. If you go a little bit deeper and you have patience, especially if you're training somebody, you have a new agent that you're working with, if you're patient and you can overcome that, you can really guide them and help them to develop.
Ooh.
Ooh,
We have
that's
here
fire.
in
We
the
oh, go
comment.
ahead.
Oh, sorry. Bad. We have here on the comment Ruby Aramburo. Sorry if I'm slaughtering your last name. Adding to that question, or does the people that we surround ourselves with play a huge role? That sounds like
Mm.
people pleasing. To me, that sounds like people pleasing.
Or your network.
Or network, or your environment's just bad. How do you empower yourself to be different from, everyone else? Be the leader instead of the sheep.
The sheep. Yep.
Yeah, so being around, yeah, I think it's important sometimes who are you around, right? And sometimes honestly we're like we don't have the network in front of us. We don't have people in front of us. If you work at a job where everybody hates their job and you show up to this environment, you're going to tend to hate your job or complain about it right along with them in the break room.
Mhm.
So I say find a different group. And sometimes that's hard because we have our own fear. Some people have like severe anxiety of like going out and trying something new and talking to new people. Like I don't like networking groups. That makes me like, I'm not too great at it. Once I go in and I show up and I warm up, it's great, but it takes me a little bit to get to that point.
Mhm.
And what I say is find a mentor. I've had lots of mentors and they have no idea who I am. They have no idea I exist because there are mentors that I listen to on YouTube, right? There are mentors that I find and I listen to, and I'm like, hey, this person, thinks the way that I think. This person, finds solutions that I want to find, right? So I find and I learn from people that I don't even know. They have no idea who I am, right? Like I said, but sometimes that's how I surround myself with the people that I want to be around if they're not immediately available to me. So that's a way that you can go and find. I know now things have changed a lot with TikTok and Instagram and all of that. So you have more people to find, to be part of your group and your network. But yeah, definitely, if you're identifying, hey, there's a lot of negativity around me, and I'm trying to keep these people around as my friends and like Ezra said, go into people pleasing, then you need to create the block, like what's you need to identify, sorry, the block of what's keeping you from saying, hey, I can't spend as much time with those people. You might still love them and appreciate them, but you don't give that much energy as you used to, when you just need to create a shift. So it's time to step up and level up and show up the way that you want to show up.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Cheers,
showing up how
guys.
you want. Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, that's a good gem right there." Um, so Nancy, Linda said every excuse sounds reasonable until results are due. That's beautiful. Yes. And so you've seen products up close. Can you share an
You're
example
cutting
of,
out a little bit.
oh,
Sorry, you're
okay.
cutting out a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Signal strong.
So you've seen these products change lives up close. Can you share an example of how financial planning or protection has helped a family move from fear to peace?
Yeah. So when I first started in the financial services industry was just because I found some strategies that I thought were really cool. And I was kind of, but there's so many different things in financial strategies, right? Whether it's debt elimination, and I think that one has created a big impact where I've seen a big shift where somebody is like drowning in debt. And I just take the time to say, like, hey, let's go through this, right? Let's see how many credit cards do you have? And we identify that because I did this for myself, okay? How many credit cards do you have? Okay, let's look at the interest rate. Go ahead, log on. I'm patient. Let's take as much time as we need. What's your interest rate? And then I show them what that looks like, right? Of how much they're paying in their minimum payment, let's say, right? And how much is actually bringing down the credit card balance as opposed to how much of it is going into interest. And just looking at something like that, where a lot of people, they're just trying to sell you something, but when I'm trying to find, I'm trying to find you money, right? Like I'm good at finding money. So if we go and we evaluate your debt and then I help them identify, hey, this is everything that I have, and this is how you can make some shifts to bring your credit card debt down, not pay as much interest. Let me explain it to you. Let's move things around, create a strategy, and now you can free up money so that you can afford to protect your family and have life insurance so that if anything were to happen to you, whether it's, death, in some cases, or just a stroke, right? Or a heart attack, and you survive that. So how do we put this much money away? Sometimes it's as easy as $30, a month for like $1 million in coverage. It's crazy, right? And people are
Yeah.
like, I don't have $30. I'm like, yeah, you do. You're just paying it all in interest on these cards. So sometimes just using that as a strategy, I think, has made a big impact with teaching people about money, things that they don't really pause and take the time to do. And nobody has the patience to do it because, again, sometimes people are just like, well, I'm not making money off of that. So for me, I'm providing a service and a holistic approach. And the holistic approach is to really identify all of that so that you can get the coverage that you need, right, to protect your family and your loved ones. So that I've seen that a lot as creating like a big impact. It's beyond just, getting somebody life insurance, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. You have a lot of integrity in your role, and I commend you for that. Um, if you could leave our audience with one message about the role insurance professionals play in families' lives, what would it be?
I would say, we're just trying to make a difference. So again, going back to people aren't just trying to sell you something. I think like we really are just trying to make a difference and we're trying to show people that it's important to protect your family. It's important to plan. It's important to have a strategy, right? We have earthquake insurance, we have fire insurance, we have auto insurance, we have phone insurance, right? But we don't insure ourselves, right? And our family. And we really are just trying to provide knowledge and some financial education. And to me, it's all about empowerment. The more knowledge you have, the more empowered you are to make decisions for yourself, for your future, and just be open. So my message would be, be open.
Hmm.
Just be open, like get a quote, right? Like, if I insured my mom not too long ago, and And it was really reasonable, right? Where I'm like, hey, she's older now. And it was a really reasonable, quote where it was like, oh, that's it. That's all it is. I thought it was going to be so much more, right? It's like, no, that's all it is, right? Like, just get the information and just be open. Like, we really are just here to help and provide a service and be of service to others.
For sure. Well, Nancy, I thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your heart, and your grounded presence with us tonight. We have a question here. How do we get a quote for insurance if interested by Grace Sanchez?
Call me, Grace. You have my number. Shoot me a text and we'll schedule something.
And of course, your work reminds everyone that transformation does not require force. It requires a sense of awareness, compassion, and the right tools.
And for everyone tuning in, if this conversation resonated with you, Nancy offers powerful coaching and transformational tools that help you break old patterns and step into aligned leadership.
And you can connect with Nancy and learn more about her work by following her on her social media or through the link shared on the chat. If you guys could see the flyer, if you can't, let me know. But I have a QR code right there for her Instagram handle and also her email address. You can follow her at Savvy Strategist, SAAVVY Strategist. Her email is nancyrocks.me. Just a reminder, that is her name and she does rock, okay?
And make sure you stay connected because this inner work is the kind that will create lasting success and not just temporary wins.
If this episode spoke to you, share it with another woman who needs permission to slow down, tune in, and lead from alignment. Men are also welcome, okay? We got to think outside the box. And we have a very special guest speaker for our next episode in 2 weeks. So don't miss out on that because this person is really inspiring. She is a single mom, a nurse, had two full-time jobs, and she's a woman of insurance, and she was able to quit her other job to be able to do this, and just to see this done in such a short time, it's just incredible when you persevere, when you do the inner work, when you get out your comfort zone, you can achieve this so much.
Awesome. So I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ezra, and this is Women
Women of Insurance.
where women lead, heal, build, and rise together. Thank you,
Together.
everyone, for joining us this evening. For our agents who are on the line, we do have a product mastermind training by our very own Jared Liu at 6:30. He goes in the details with our products. Text me, agents. If you don't have that information, let me know. Reach out to either Bree, Tiffany, or myself, or continue information. Keep learning. Other than that, everyone have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Thank you, ladies. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining, everyone.